Hello and welcome everyone to a new YouTube video here on Planeswalker Diaries YouTube channel. This time we have a mono black aggro list. It is a bit based on the Pioneer list, but I did some updates here and we don't have all the cards in Historic as well. I think this is a tier 2, tier 3 deck. I just want to test mono black aggro in Historic, and we got some new cards from Kaladesh Remastered. One of them is the Scrap Head, and it's a really good card, and obviously Fatal Push is also a really good card. And yeah, the deck is really simple. It's an aggro deck with a lot of 1-drops, some good 2-drops, and then we just try to attack each turn while playing our hand as good as we can. So let's go over the deck and then we check out the sideboard. We have 4 Dread Wanderer, 1 mana to 1. Dread Wanderer enters the battlefield tapped, and we can pay 3. Return Dread Wanderer from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery, and only if you have 1 or fewer cards in hand. Usually we don't have too many cards in hand since we deploy a lot, but yeah, it's a really good 1-drop and we want to 4 of them. Then another 1-drop we play is Gutterbones, 1 black, 2/1 as well. It also enters tapped, but we can pay 2. Return Gutterbones from your graveyard to your hand. Activate this ability only during your turn and only if an opponent lost life this turn. So here, Gutterbones and Dread Wanderer, both cards that we can get back from the graveyard, and they are 1 mana 2/1, which is really nice. And then the last 1-drop is Knight of the Ebon Legion, 1 black, 1/2. We can pay 3. Knight of the Ebon Legion gets +3/+3 and gains Death Touch until the end of turn, which is really nice. You can threaten attack and then pump or not. It's really good. And at the beginning of your end step, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, put that +1/+1 counter on Knight of the Ebon Legion. So a really solid 1-drop, one of my favorites. Then the other spells on the 1 mana slot are Thoughtseize, 1 mana, just way too good. You have to include it. One of the best cards in Magic, I would say, at least in those formats I play. Target player reveals the hand, you choose an online card from it, that player discards the card, you lose 2 life. We play also 4 Fatal Push, 1 mana, destroy target creature if it has converted mana cost 2 or less, and Revolt, destroy target creature if it has converted mana cost 4 or less instead. If a permanent controlled left the battlefield this turn. So, I mean, Revolt, we can activate Revolt okayish, we can pseudo attack, or we just Rankle Sacrifice here. But yeah, Fatal Push is a removal spell, really strong. It replaces First, basically, but Bloodchief's First is still really good. Fatal Push is not that easy to activate since there's not too many fetch lands here, but I still think it's a really good card. Then we play 4 Scraphead Scrounger, 2 mana, 3/2. Scraphead Scrounger can't block. It's a new card here from the Kaladesh Remastered set. You can pay 2, 1 black, 1 colorless, exile another creature card from your graveyard, return Scraphead Scrounger from your graveyard to the battlefield. So again, a card with recursion. And then we play 2 Skyclave Shade, 2 mana, 3/1. Kicker, 3. If we kick it, it comes into the play with 2 additional counters on it. If Skyclave Shade was kicked, it gets stronger, but the good part about this card is whenever we play a land, we can play Skyclave Shade from our graveyard. So the landfall ability is really sweet, as we can see. Also a card that can come back. So we have 2 Shades, 4 Scrapheads, 4 Dread Wanderer, 4 Gutterbones, and all those cards can come back from our graveyard. So there's a lot of aggressive recursion, and this is basically what this deck does. We play 3 Murderous Rider to deal with bigger creatures, 3 mana to 3. We can pay 3 as an instant and use Swift End, destroy target creature or planeswalker, you lose 2 life. And we can also play the body, lifelink, when Murderous Rider dies, put it on the bottom of its owner's library. So it's a 2/3 creature that is also a removal spell and there's some lifelink, really versatile card. Then we play 4 Rankle, Master of Pranks, 4 mana, 3/3 haste, flying, which is really important, so we can push some damage on curve. Whenever Rankle, Master of Pranks deals combat damage to a player, choose any number of the following effects. Each player discards a card, each player loses 1 life and draws a card, or each player sacrifices a creature. We can choose all of them, 1 of them, none of them. This is really solid. If we sacrifice a creature, since our creature has so many recursion effect, it's always a good trade for us in general. Also the discard, since we can discard creature with recursion, is also really good. Then we play 3 Spawn of Mayhem, 4 mana, 4/4, Flying Trample, Spectacle, 3 mana, and this is really nice. With the 3 mana, we have many cheap attacking creatures, which make this on curve a 3 mana 4/4 flying trample. This is really strong. And at the beginning of your upkeep, Spawn of Mayhem deals 1 damage to each player. Then if you have 10 or less life, put a +1/+1 counter on Spawn of Mayhem. So yeah, this is a really strong card. So in a perfect world, we go turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 creatures, maybe this one, or Mayhem Devil, Spawn of Mayhem, sorry, turn 3, and then turn 4. It's a really strong curve with a lot of damage potential, and this is what this deck tries. We also play 4 Archedeem's Awakening. This is a mythic flip land from Zendikar Rising. 3 black and X. Return from your graveyard to the battlefield any number of target creature cards that each have a different converted mana cost, X or less. So we can return a 1-drop, a 2-drop, a 3-drop, or a 4-drop, depending how much we pay. And if not, if we don't play the sorcery, we can also use the land, which is untapped land if we pay 3 life, or tapped land if we don't pay 3 life. We play Forecast Lockwayne. It's just good overall. We can draw cards. It comes tapped in if we don't have a swamp, but we basically have only swamps. 3 mana, we draw a card, then we lose life equal to the number of cards in our hand. So this is just a really nice land that draws us cards. We play 1 Phyrexian Tower. There's some exile removals around, so we want to make sure that we at least deal with this as well. 15 other lands. This is the main deck. Let's have a look in the sideboard. I play additional Bloodchief's First here just to have more removal spells. There are a lot of creature decks around. Also works if we kick it to get some Planeswalkers, which is really nice. Just an overall, it's basically Fatal Push. It could still be stronger. It's not instant speed though, but yeah, we just want some more. Cling to Dust. There's a lot of graveyard cards, and I kind of want to have a Cling to Dust in this deck. I'm not too sure how good it is. But yeah, I think this card I would actually replace. I had the Cling to Dust here because there's so many decks that utilize graveyard cards, and I wanted to go with this one. Then I have 3 Duress just to have another look in the hand, just to have if we really need to attack the hand, we have another Duress. 1 mana, we can choose a non-creature, non-land card and discard it. And I could also see Agonizing Remorse here in the sideboard. The sideboard obviously is just not fine-tuned yet because I built this deck on day 1. The meta is not fine-tuned as well, so it's really hard to make a sideboard, but this is the way I go. So if you have any sideboard ideas, let me know, especially when the meta established. Then we have 2 Soul Guide Lantern, 1 mana artifact here. We can tap it, exile opponent's graveyard. We can also sacrifice it, and we draw a card. So this is basically just all a graveyard hate card. We could have also played the Cage, but I don't like Cage too much because our deck really doesn't like Cage. So we have to go with other options, which is why we play Cling to Dust and Soul Guide Lantern. Then I have 2 Heartless Acts. If we need more removal against bigger creatures, 2 mana, we can choose 1, destroy a target creature with no counters on it, or remove up to 3 counters from target creatures. An instant spell, so also really nice. 2 Necromentia. There are combo decks in Historic, so with this card we can shut them down. There's the Temur Neoform deck, and maybe we see some Kefis combo decks, and I think maybe having Necromentia helps against those type of decks. 3 mana, we can choose a card that's not a basic land. We can search the opponent's graveyard, hand, and library and remove those cards. If there was a card in the hand, they get a 2/2 black zombie. But yeah, it's just to attack their hand, their deck in general if there's a combo deck. And to Aeda's Fair Harvester, 3 mana, 3/5 flying. When Aeda's Fair Harvester ends the battlefield, we get 2 energy. We can pay an energy to gain lifelink, and it has crew. So this is just against mono red if we really need some more lifelink, because we don't really have lifelink in the deck, but this gives us some lifelink. But again, it is super early in the meta right now. It's not hard. It's hard to say which deck is gonna be good. I thought a mono black aggressive deck. Maybe people like this. I do like it. I do like myself some mono black, and I really like that we have access to so many cheap and good 1 mana spells. I mean, Thoughtseize, Fatal Push, Knight of the Ebon Legion, Guard the Bones, and Red Wanderer. It just feels amazing to have those cards. Having a lot of recursion is also amazing. I can see there's more mono black lists. I could see also a Lurrus version. Playing some Priest, right? Priest feels really nice with creature that have recursion in general. So I think Lurrus could also be here, but I didn't want to make 3 Lurrus decks today. So I went with a more traditional mono black aggro list, and I kind of like it the way it is right now. I did test it, I think at like a 60% win rate, which is still good. Not perfect, but still good. as I said, early meta, we don't know what's coming. If you like this type of video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. We try to put out every day a new deck tech, or as many as we can, and Jason Florent and Seth Mainfield will help with this as well. Yeah, just feel free to check us out on Twitch, Jason Florent, Danny Chilor, Seth Mainfield, the same stuff, and definitely check out our podcast and Patreon. We have an amazing crew there, and it's amazing to play with them every day. We test with them, we have Monday meetings, so yeah, feel free to check it out, and see you next time.